Greetings from the Long Island Sound podcast. Welcome to the show. Please rate, review, and comment on the show, and call our listener line and leave a message for our guests. Dial 631-800-3579. All right, enjoy the show.
Thanks for joining us for the Long Island Sound podcast. Each week we explore new music and dive deeper with the artists and their stories behind the music. Please subscribe and rate and review us wherever you stream this podcast. Here's your host, Steve Yusko.
Ever wonder what influences your taste in music? New York is blessed to be the all-you-can-digest banquet. In today's episode, we meet the band Damn Tall Buildings as we explore their beginnings and look back at a decade of growth as they embark on the premiere of their latest album, Sleeping Dogs, set for release in September. Let's check out their song, What a Nice Life.
Blowing air back in your lungs. Heard you out there singing, can't be sure. Well, I heard the breath breathing brought you back to where you were, where that cool breeze blowing kept you high. And I swear I saw the sunshine little shimmer in your eye. Not sure who I've been lately, pretty sure your mother hates me. But there ain't no time for fine times, but as far as we can see, we'll head to the floor on my full side. Ain't it a shame, 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 all those good times slipping by? Well, it's just a thought I'm thinking, passing through. Knock down the door, step on the floor, it'll sure be leaving soon. With that sweet summer air, it's all but gone. And it's been feeling mighty lonesome now that winter's coming on. Not sure who I've been lately, but holy shit can barely stand me. So sweet, so I let that one slide through the cracks down right in front of me.
I'm so excited about our guests today. The band calls themselves Damn Tall Buildings. The members are Max Capistran, Sasha Dubyk, and Avery Ballotta. They've found a home in the backwoods of Brooklyn. They hail from New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Montana, one of my favorite states. We'll sample some more songs from their soon-to-be-released album, Sleeping Dogs. Witty and engaging, I found their music to be energizing as they sing as witnesses into the world they explore. Two of the trio are here with me today, and I say, welcome, Max and Avery, to the Long Island Sound podcast. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
good to have you.
Hey, thanks for having us, Steve. We're psyched to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what really works out for these guys? We're doing this on Squadcast. They don't get to see my ugly face and my expressions, so we'll have to use their imagination.
That's right. It's an active
we
imagination.
We just have this little circle picture of you.
Yeah, you look great in your avatar.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
yeah, very very white hair. So, guys, I've been listening to your music for the past 3 days, and it's kind of like speed dating when it comes to artists. You know, I kind of dive into their music, and I really enjoy it. It's just really kind of really uplifting. The vocals are really phenomenal, and I don't, you know, you're kind of Americana bluegrass, but I don't like to jam anybody into one genre. And you know what blows my mind is you guys are in Brooklyn. Right?
Oh,
it
yeah.
probably blows your mind too.
Very much.
I mean, Brooklyn's, honestly, for anybody around the world, Brooklyn is the place to be.
Well put.
It is.
I agree.
Manhattan used to be the center of the world, and it's Brooklyn.
Yeah.
It's Williamsburg, it's Long Island City, which is Queens right next door, and all that stuff. There's a lot of great places. Anyway, I'm kind of yapping away.
We agree.
So, so we're missing Sasha. So, we're going to talk about her a lot.
That's right.
And have
main
her...
topic of conversation.
I've got a lot to say. Okay.
So there's a lot to read about you guys. You all went to Berklee, right? Up in Massachusetts.
That's right.
Which you're my first Berklee artist. So and I hear a lot of great things about Berklee. And so kind of tell me how you guys got together.
We got together playing tunes on the street, busking on Newbury Street.
Okay.
You know, we all met through various avenues while at school, but we really connected on a lot of old, like, blues and rock and roll, and then I was bringing in fiddle tunes and stuff like that, and we were kind of all learning together from anything that we were listening to or had played before, and then that just ended up melding really well, and I'd say that was the kickoff.
So for those who don't know, Newbury Street, right? Mm-hmm. Is in Boston. It's like a shopping street almost, right? With brownstones and you know, if you can imagine the Cheers bar, you know, with the basement bars, right? There's a lot of that stuff and a lot of bed and breakfast. It's cool. It's a cool part of Boston, and Boston is a great town. It's a town you can walk, you know, in the course of like 3 or 4 days, but it's
right.
Right. No, it's spread out, but it's certainly something you can get around town, you know, pretty well.
Yeah.
So you weren't on the street, you were in school, but playing on the street, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to clarify.
Careful
At that time,
So, Max, you're the main songwriter from what I've read, and you know, you just kind of bring Avery along with the fiddle.
Yeah,
that's how it's always been.
You know? Yeah, he's small, so it's not too heavy. It's not
the
terrible.
fiddle's small too, so.
All right, so you meet in college. Was there a lot of different versions of Damn Tall Buildings, and did you call yourself Damn Tall Buildings right from the get-go?
That's a good question. That's a loaded question. There's a lot of answers in there.
Okay. Well, pick one.
I'll pick one. The first, I guess we first started as me and Avery here, and there was a mandolin player. There is a mandolin player. He's on our next record a little bit. He came and did a tune. Dylan McCarthy. He lives out in Lyons, Colorado now. But he started playing with us when we were playing on the street, and he brought in a lot of bluegrass, old country songs, and we owe a lot of our chops to, you know, him bringing in a bunch of stuff and having us just like hop up and play with him on it. So playing on the street is how we kind of started, the three of us. And we had another friend who was in a band for a long time, Jordan Allman. He just left us about a year ago, or 2 years ago. No, it was like a year and a half ago now. And now we play as a trio. But it was the four of us out on the street, and we were having a great time. We were always like best friends playing on the street, and Sasha was always with us, hanging out, having a good time. And we didn't have a bass player. We had a mandolin, fiddle, banjo, and guitar. And so we decided that, a squad shot just happened. where they take a
No,
picture
I
of us.
took a snapshot of you, so it's
was
proof
like,
that you exist.
Are we shutting down? What's going on? Oh, that's a good one. But anyway, the four of us were playing on the street. We were good friends with Sasha, and Sasha, we needed a bass player. So one day we convinced Sasha to go down the street to a bass rental shop and to rent an upright bass, and she started playing right on the street with us. And the mandolin player, Dylan, eventually had to move back to Colorado. So that's how it ended up being the four of us on the street. So we've interchanged a few members, but.
Was Sasha a bass player from the get-go, or no?
No, just a vocalist.
That happens so much. It happened to me in a church band where, I'm not a very good guitar player, and they're like, "Hey, we need some bottom to this. Why don't you pick up the bass?"
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I should have been insulted, but it's like out of necessity. It's kind of amazing.
It's crazy that like the most important instrument is like the least available out there. It's hard to find. The bass just like holds it down. So
and they're in demand. You pick up the bass.
Yeah.
And so, all right, let's reel back the pages a little bit. I'm really and answer individually, if you don't mind, is at what age did music kind of grab you, or did music find you, and what instrument did you pick up, and how'd you go about it? So let's start with Avery.
All right. Yeah. I mean, as far back as I can remember, music was pretty a part of me, pretty deeply. In there, I knew something was calling to me from in there, from in the sound.
Okay.
And my mom grew up singing and playing some instruments and stuff. And one of those instruments she used to tell me was the violin in her elementary school orchestra. So that one locked into my head. And when I was 9, ended up going to like a used instrument swap at the local high school. And found a half-size violin, and with it, a teacher.
Nice.
So that was the entrance into the fiddle world. She grew up a competition fiddler, but was teaching elementary school and middle school orchestra as well. So she had this great way of being able to teach me both by ear and by reading. So I think that ended up giving me a really solid foundation into where, like, everywhere that music has taken me, which is cool.
Nice. So you had the influence from mom. Was any other family members musical as well?
My dad has a lot of rhythm and has is not sure what to put it on. I've definitely seen him do great on like a drum of any kind.
But he's a toe tapper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Loves music, which is great. And then my brother started the fiddle. He was 3 when I was 9, and he started the fiddle at the same time. And he's a great.
All right. Let me ask you a stupid question.
Yeah.
Because that's what mostly my questions are. Is you call it a fiddle?
Yes.
And is that just a nickname for your violin? I'm serious, because I don't know.
I love this question because there's a few different answers to it. My favorite answer, and the truest to me, is that you can spill beer on a fiddle. That's the biggest difference between a violin and a fiddle. I love that. That's my favorite. And my fiddle is definitely a fiddle.
Gotcha.
But I really, it's funny because I grew up playing in orchestras and quartets and a lot of the like classical world. And one of the greatest, solo violinists ever, Itzhak Perlman. I was watching a documentary one time, and he's like this incredible violinist, and he's like, yeah, the fiddle. I always really love that.
It's the gypsy, the everyday man,
right, instrument.
But I tell you, I have a tremendous amount of respect for it, because it's one of those instruments, anything with a bow, it's when you're learning it, man, it just can sound horrible. Even slide guitar, it can just be painful, I would think, for everybody. And if you can muscle through it, God bless.
Yeah.
Kind of cool. All right, Max, get back on camera. Let me see you, brother.
Patience for those fretless instruments, I tell you.
right.
I'm a frets guy myself.
All right. We can talk. We can go. We can go deep on frets then.
I'm a frets guy. My musical history kind of began so Blink-182 put out Enema of the State in 1999. I would say I probably didn't get my ears on it until 2001. But from there, I was obsessed with the song All the Small Things, just like many children my age. And I wanted to be a drummer so bad. And my parents refused to let me play the drums just because, like, it's loud.
And they're smart.
Yeah, and they're smart, right? So they made me play guitar. And, like, I think I started, like, 9. And I just, like, was so motivated to learn the guitar for, like, a year because I wanted to play the drums. And then after a year, like, I was pretty good at the guitar. I was natural at it. And I just, like, kind of kept going on the guitar. And I never got to the drums. So my parents' whole dirty scheme totally worked. Yeah. But that was like what brought me into music was just Travis Barker just nailing on the drums and Blink-182. And then me wanting to do that. And I didn't end up going that route. But I'd say my whole musical career has been an absolute accident. I wanted to be a drummer in a punk band. And then I play guitar in like a bluegrass trio. So, you know. Right. I will say, though, while we're on the topic, bluegrass and punk, way more interconnected than we give them credit.
Super similar.
That's the first for me to hear from. What's interesting, it's kind of funny. You can kind of, as a senior guy, all right, I'm 61, you get kind of locked into the music of your youth, as far as, as influences. And I kind of went through a change in the past few years where I said, you know what? I don't want to be the guy who's reminiscing about stuff and seeing tribute bands all the time. I got to really open up my world. One of the things that helped me was WFUV in the Fordham radio station, which gave me Neil Young, but then really opened my ears to a lot of other things. And then once I started this podcast, and this is my hope for the audience, is to show them I keep on saying the wellspring of talent in the New York and Long Island area, but the metropolitan area, it just kind of blows my mind. I had another group called the Locksmiths, a guy named Robert Bach. He's from Queens. And he was telling me about all these different communities, which are bluegrass, Americana, songwriting rounds and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, because you have something in your mind about Brooklyn. You think The Godfather and it's Italian songs and it's,
right. We do play a mean Tarantella.
Do you? All right, cool. There is a wedding singer future in your future there. So. That's the cool thing. And Americana is kind of a broad genre. It covers a lot of stuff, but the one thing, I'm just giving you my impressions of listening to your music. It's just so engaging. The harmonies just kind of permeate through it. And it's what came to mind to me, and I'll leave this to the audience to discover your music, is I'm picturing I'm in your living room while you guys are playing, and it's that, and that's a comfortable feeling, to be honest with you, especially in this day and age.
I'm glad to hear
of family music, if that makes sense. It was just, I don't know, that's my first initial impressions. Let me ask you this, and then we're going to take a break in a minute. I'll ask you the question, we'll take a break, and you'll come back and kind of go about it. So you're coming out with this album. Hopefully, I believe this podcast on September 9th is going to be out the same day. I think I can pull it off.
Wow.
All right? Because we get the most bang for the buck.
Very cool.
By promoting Damn Tall Buildings. My question is, how did the quarantine affect you guys over the past 2 years? And when we get back from the break, we're going to explore that. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be right back. At the Long Island Sound, we're much more than a podcast. We're building a community. Please go to gigdestiny.com. Check out all our social media links. Subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast. Please comment. Call the listener line. Tell us what you think, what questions we should ask, who we should have on the show. And most of all, we thank you for your generous support. And remember, support the artists who are guests on the show. Now back to the podcast. Hey, everybody. We're back with Max and Avery. two of the trio from Damn Tall Buildings. Who are we missing?
Sasha.
Is that?
Sasha.
Yeah,
Dubyk.
Sasha. Sasha had other better things to do, but we'll tell a lot of stories about Sasha, and she can't comment on it. So that's what you get. So what I left you guys with this question: how did the quarantine, how did COVID affect you guys? Both musically and everything else. How did it work out for you?
I'll go first. I would say in so many different ways. There was so much bad, there was so much good, a lot of stuff. I mean, we were kind of like headed towards a really big summer of a lot of gigs back to back, a lot of big festivals. And I think it was potentially going to be a lot for us, and maybe too much. Maybe we weren't ready to handle all of that was coming towards us. And so that's kind of how I think about it now, because for us, it was like this necessary break that we hadn't taken. We've been a band now for 10 years, and we hadn't really stopped. We've just been kind of hustling and going out on the road and moving and kind of trying to make albums, just trying to go. So we finally took, some needed time off, at least for a full year. We did like definitely a full year of no gigging at all, a year and a half, I'd say. And it was weird not being able to perform with people, and it was weird not seeing each other. Like, me and Sasha lived together, so we saw each other all the time, but we only saw Avery every once in a while. And Jordan, right at the beginning of our old banjo player, right at the beginning of the pandemic, went right back home to the Northwest United States, out outside of Portland, Oregon. So we didn't see each other. So we were separated for a while, but it gave us all time to really figure out like who we were individually and who we were outside of this project. And for Jordan, he realized that he needed a break from this and he needed to step away. And that was good for him. And for all of us, we all took kind of our own like new experiences from this shared experience that we all had. And I think that, can be heard a lot in our album. We kind of changed our sound a little bit in the album. We recorded it all on our own. And this whole like new creative process, I think, came out of like having to be at home and having to not be together and not be doing the things that we're so used to doing over and over and over again. Just like a total change up. So that was a long answer, but.
No, that's fine. Would you say you were more prolific in creativity during that time, or was just different, or you were pretty much consistent in? Well, you're the writer. You write most of the songs, not all the songs. But how was it for you?
It's funny because you're going to.
Don't worry, Avery. We'll get to you. Gather your thoughts.
I'm in the peanut gallery over here. This is great.
Two very different answers, man. You're going to get from me and Avery. Like for me, I did basically no music at all. I didn't really write at all for a year. I didn't play guitar that much. Like I surfed a lot and saw my family and hiked and spent a lot of time outside.
Wait. What do you like, a trust fund baby?
Yeah, I'm a trust fund baby. No, I wish. Could you talk to my parents?
No, I mean, I took a year off. I didn't do any of this. I did that. I went surfing.
Oh no, I was still working.
Okay.
Teaching music. Yeah, no.
Oh, you teach music. You teach music.
Yeah, I teach music. Yeah. So,
all right. So you were earning a living.
I was earning a living. I wish that I wasn't. I've been pissed about me not being a trust fund baby for so long.
As long as I've known you.
Yeah, as long as Montana's known me, I've been complaining.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, my envy meter was really high when you're like, I took time away. I'm like, son of a bitch. What's with this guy? I gotta do more research.
Being
on
a musician, dude. Yeah.
Oh, please.
I'm rich as hell, man.
Yeah. All right, so it's obvious you're the lyricist because you're doing most of the talking. Let's hear from Avery. Let's give.
Yeah, short and sweet. I am not. Yeah, the pandemic time was, like Max said, ultimately it became kind of a necessary shift in consciousness for all of us. In the act of everything that we were planning on and everything that we were getting ready to do and really had been working on for the last, at that point, like 8.5 years, something like that. it was the kind of forced break, really distilled everything that mattered ultimately, which was like playing music together and like
Right.
going back to the busking days almost in spirit, and realizing that keeping that at the forefront was the only way that this could sustain itself, because there was a lot of question about sustainability after a while when everything was like paused. Sure. And we're like, oh, every one of us is burnt out. Like, we were burnt out before this paused. Let's think about that, you know?
So it's a blessing in disguise to a certain extent for all of you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then Max was joking about the difference in musical activity. I had the benefit of living with 4 to 5 other folks in my
so you were in a commune.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, right in Bed-Stuy. It was really great, and we're all musicians, and we set up a recording studio in our basement. So we made a quick rock and roll record, a quick EP.
Oh, nice.
And then I felt ready to I felt looser musically coming back.
Nice. Well, you know, I'm sorry I'm jumping on your words here, but, you know, it's really kudos to you guys. 10 years together is a big deal in this day and age, you know. You don't look that old. I mean, you look like you started when you're 12, you know. But no, seriously, 10 years together says, you know, we've got a strong relationship, and then you maintain it through quarantine. That's a big deal to me, and that I think as people will, and myself including, explore your music, knowing that is kind of cool to say, okay, what they're witnessing, they probably had some interaction together, and I'm kind of reading into things, but I think it's something magical, you know. You've been together 10 years. You obviously got the formula down. You said you changed some of your sound a bit. Tell me about that. Tell me about, one, in the beginning, how did you find your voice, meaning the voice of the band, and then tell me what you mean that it changed or evolved, either of you.
I'd say the voice is just still a journey that we're on, but I feel like we're closer to our authentic voice than we've ever been before. We have a lyric from one of our songs that's "I am not myself, I am everyone else," and that's kind of our motto in our band. And I wrote that line just thinking about how, like, I think about what everybody thinks all the time, and I never am able to just think purely my own thoughts. And can you ever think of your own thoughts? Like, there's so much on the outside coming in, and we're so manipulated by everything, you know, that what is an authentic thought and what is an authentic sound? And like, that comes up with us. Our banjo player, this band has always been so honest with me about my songs.
Okay.
So if they like them, they're very open. But if they don't like them, they will tell me. So it's been an amazing. I have a great review system. And our banjo player, back in the day, this was 8 years ago now, he was like, "Stop trying to write bluegrass songs. They've all already been written." And I was like,
wow.
What? But he was right. I needed to stop trying to write another bluegrass song, because who am I to write about bluegrass songs? I don't know about any of this material. I do know about riding trains more than most people do these days, because I live in New York City, but it's not the trains that they were talking about, you know? So it's totally different. So I would say that through the pandemic and through just growing as a band and trying out all of these different sounds, you finally kind of get to learn what your actual vocabulary is. And then having that break where we got to really reflect on who we were, all of our influences, and then to come out of that, I feel like it was almost like a rebirth of our music in a way.
Wow. That's interesting. Look, you know, as I was thinking as you were talking about that, and I don't know where I heard this, but I heard that when somebody wins a Grammy, say 5 people are nominated for a Grammy, okay, the person that wins the Grammy is usually great. They continue their next album. They're experimenting. They're doing more. The other 4/5 of them reanalyze themselves and try to stay in what they know instead of being creative and challenging those guardrails. And they tend to fail. They looked at it over, decades of what happened to the nominees within this category. So it's kind of interesting, and I'm probably more of a critic, I can't even watch, America's Got Talent and these other things. Or if I hear any more, it's when they tune the voice in the song, auto-tune. Auto-tune, makes my scrotum go up. It's like, oh my God. And then I compare it to listening to your music. Even when you did the tinny start of the one song, it almost sounds like a tinny radio and then grows in. Yeah. And I'm like, that it was what came in my mind, I have pictures in my mind, is I'm tuning the radio, I'm tuning into Damn Tall Buildings. Oh, yeah, I got the station clear. You probably, in Montana, this happens a lot as you're tuning the station. Was that the effect you were trying to get?
Absolutely. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah.
I got it right.
Yeah. You're killing it.
You got it right. We got it right.
We can end the podcast right now. I'm so intuitive. That's really cool. But you know what? It's one of the things that's interesting to me that you said, where we get all these inputs, you can get sensory overload, right? And by the way, you live in sensory overload in Brooklyn, and you can look at it two ways. You can look at it, hey, I've got all these great influences. I got an African beat of this music. I've got all these things, and you can shut things out or take things in. So I think that's kind of cool. But then it's also finding the time, finding what I call solace time. It's almost like prayer time, that time where I can just meander with my thoughts, and work it. And that's where songwriting comes in. The difference between me and you guys is I've written 1,000 songs, at least pieces of 1,000,000 songs, but I've never acted on it. And singer-song, and especially songwriter, you guys act on, good or bad, you act on your muse. I'm being honest with you. That I think that is a great talent and skill that can be worked, however you work it, And I'm not going to ask you, so how do you write songs and how does the muse come to you? We can explore all that shit, but it's give me the music, the way you put the vocals together and it ties. It's just really, it's nice. It's kind of neat, I'm really curious to see what I've heard on the album, how you do that live, particularly with the vocals. Because now, who are the two vocalists that harmonize? Are you doubling up Sasha, or am I giving the keys to the ingredients to the recipe away?
No. Don't tell them.
Nobody knows. Yeah. There's only 3 on stage. Who's singing?
No, it's me and Sasha. Most of those dual vocals for most of the songs are me and Sasha, but Montana is layered in pretty much every one of those as well. We do a lot of 3-part harmony, which we take from this Americana music tradition that we try to honor and also kind of make our own. But yeah,
right. I mean, you have like that framework to work in. I was reading your EPK about the Carter family and working with. And if you think about it, if the electricity goes out tomorrow, I could still hear Damn Tall Buildings.
Yeah.
We're good to go, dude.
Yeah, right?
Problem.
That's great.
Yeah. If the electricity goes out nationwide, I think that's going to really be what takes us to the next level in our career.
We can only hope. Our prayer is that everyone gets off the grid, has solar, and not Elon Musk's battery, somebody else's battery, and we can listen to Americana music.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to jump into. I really would love to talk about Sasha and like tell us great stories about Sasha, so we can build up envy of Sasha should have been on the on the podcast, but we won't do that. We'll be cool.
I love it.
Well, you guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I want to talk about the second song you brought to the table, which is podcast. So tell us a little bit about that. Very tied into what we're doing here, and then we'll have everybody take a listen to it.
I love it. Well, speaking of Sasha, that is her song. That was one of the first. There's 2 songs on this record that showcase Sasha's debut songwriting prowess, which is so cool. And podcast is great because we recorded a lot of the record. We recorded the record ourselves. It's the first time we've self-produced and self-recorded. And we had some great guidance from our buddy Dan Cardinal, who mixed and mastered it as well. And we did our last record with him, so he was great in like helping us with what gear to get and whatnot. But back to the song, we were in Margate City, New Jersey, which
down by the shore,
right. Which we love. And it was super fun to set up some tracking rooms and like kind of all over. We just kind of moved all over the house recording and trying a bunch of stuff. And Sasha was writing this song at the time. And there were a few times during that first session where Max would go out, take the board out and start surfing, and Sasha and I would be walking the beach, and she was just workshopping these lyrics. So then we started working on the lyrics, like to the verses, just bouncing stuff off, which is fun. It's kind of our first time co-writing. This is the first time the whole band has co-written anything. And we were like, I don't know, what's the B part? What's the point of the song? You know, it's like, these are great verses. They make us laugh, but why? And then Max came in with this killer chorus from a song that we didn't like. And, but the chorus is great. So it comes in with this chorus and it's like, it just melts so perfectly. So, that was really cool. I'm glad that we're talking about this song because I really love that song, and how it came together was so organic to, especially how we were recording and creating the sound of this record in real time. That song was being like written. So really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's send out this tasty tune to our audience and have a listen to podcast. We'll be right back after it.
Sleeping on the ground, thinking you're so profound. Your podcast sucks and I think I hate you. Visions in my head, you may think I'm dead. Sour limes and I'm the bitter. Oh, sky's coming down, you better swing quick. Oh, you gonna be where the good times hit. Oh, bad days gone, got your life to live. I woke up early and I'm tired of it. So caught up in directing, are we all just pretending? Play it cool like it's overrated. Your bio says you're an artist, filtering all your garbage. Do you know what you're even saying? Oh, sky's coming down, you better swing quick. Oh, where you gonna be when the good times hit? Oh, bad days gone, got your life to live. I woke up early and I'm tired of it. Skeletons in your closet, I can hear 'em a knocking. getting to ya, I hope you let it. When I look in the mirror, couldn't get any clearer. I'm high as hell and I need some water.
Hey guys, we're back with Damn Tall Buildings. We're with Avery / Montana and Max. And let me tell you that most embarrassing story about Sasha that you told during the break. I can't believe it. That was amazing.
Pretty good, right? We gotta get her on here someday. And
Send me the pictures from the story. And I'll put it in the chapter marks, okay? And Sasha will know which embarrassing moment we're talking about. No, I'm only kidding. I always like to rib part of the group that's never on the podcast, and
it's
she
only
will
fair.
damn be on the podcast in session 2.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Sasha retorts.
Hey, let's talk about this album release you got coming up on September 9th. Tell me, so you kind of jumped into laying the tracks down and stuff like that, and did you record it in different places? Give me some background, and got to be excited about it, I'm sure.
Stoked, man. First record that we recorded all on our own, like Avery had mentioned. We did it in Margate City and in our apartment in Brooklyn. So actually right where I'm sitting right now, we did some of it. So we're pumped because it's like so much of us. We produced it on our own, wrote it and arranged it. So it's very much like our project and baby. And we're stoked to put it out in the world. And we got a bunch of fun shows lined up to support it. So yeah, we just can't wait to finally get it out there,
So you're going to do shows throughout the fall and spring, or what's the lineup look like? Going state to state, across the country? What's the setup for what you're going to be doing? And by the way, we'll list all the shows, and we'll have the web links to your site as well, where we can find out where you're playing. So.
Well, let's see, Avery, dude, do you know where we're going? I'm in charge of the itinerary most of the time. So let's see, Avery, where are we going to support this record?
Oh, let's see here. Okay, so we're starting in. Let me try and not. My hands are free of the calendar.
I can vouch
right.
for it.
We got Beacon, New York.
Boom.
I'm gonna try and do it in order, and I can't tell you the days. Although we are starting on September 2nd in Beacon. I know that. And then Madison, Connecticut. And then we're going down to the Nashville area and doing Madison, Tennessee, right? And we're making our way to Texas. I can't remember if there's anything between those, but I think we're playing in Austin first.
No, I'm jumping in. He did so good. He got 2 of them.
Yeah, he was doing a Karnak impression.
Yeah. That was incredible.
Oh, thank you.
I was nervous the whole time.
Yeah, usually I need the calendar.
All right, here we go. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Here we go. We got Beacon, New York, Madison, Connecticut, Madison, Tennessee, Capel, Texas,
yes.
Austin, Texas, and then we make our way up to Winfield, Kansas for the infamous 50th anniversary of Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival.
Bluegrass!
Place is legendary. It's going to be crazy. And then we leave there to go to a private event. Avery's getting married. And then after
congratulations.
And then after that, we're driving to North Carolina. We're going to IBMA, the International Bluegrass Music Association. We've got some showcases there, a street performance show at the festival, and then we'll be touring all around North Carolina until we come home in October.
Wow, that's great. Sounds like that's a full schedule, man.
Yeah, that's just for September and October in New York. For New York, folks, we'll give it out to you. We're playing at Rockwood Music Hall, Stage 2, on October 20th at 9:30 p.m.
And that's an official release show.
New York. Yeah.
I'll do my best to make that.
Sick.
As long as it's not a school night.
Good. We're canceling school the next day.
Yeah, we called everybody.
I'm still being. Ask my wife. I'm still being schooled. So,
Aren't we all?
Hey, I got to ask you this about the recording process. Moving from having worked with studio people and then doing it on your own. What's the difference? Control.
Sometimes control. I'd say time overall. Just the pressure.
Okay.
Sometimes if you are paying for a set time,
the meter's running.
Yeah, if the meter's running, it can alter, not necessarily stifle, but change the creativity.
Okay.
And I'd say that was the biggest thing we noticed difference wise. Because then we did get to work with a lot of great guests on this one too, so that was fun getting to do some remote recording. So that was one difference, that we didn't have to have people like come to the studio and record. So that was cool. And then, yeah, it's funny though, the team itself is kind of the same overall. You kind of build your community of folks who know what you're after as we're all discovering it. So.
Yeah, and since you've been together for so long, you've networked, you've been out at these festivals, and I'm sure you've met people where, I always am fascinated with, like, how did so-and-so show up on your album? Oh, we just happened to hang out one day and we really clicked and we remembered each other, and I knew he was good at, steel guitar player or whatever. And I find musicians, as a general statement, to be very gracious and giving, and they kind of root for your success, They find success in your success, I guess, is my assumption.
I'd say the good ones do.
Yeah, and you know what, there are divas out there for sure, that I've run into a couple. Not so far, not on the podcast. But yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic, that must be come about. And a lot of times when I'll be talking to, this may be a left field thing, but when I talk to single artists, the big question I ask, are you a collaborative or, a solo practitioner when it comes to writing music? Some are, some are, hey, I really write the tunes, but I work with a lyricist and, hundreds of miles away, and he writes all my music and we collaborate that way, and there are other people it's my thing, it's all my, and that's, I guess it's all good. I personally like the collaborative approach to things because you get all these different influences in. And you know what, Max? You have a real benefit of people telling you when your music sucks.
I know. I'm so grateful for it, man. I love it.
Yeah. Really?
I do. Because imagine if they lied to me and then I went and played in front of a ton of people this terrible, shitty song,
Look, he's gonna play the podcast song.
Yeah, exactly. We'd invite people just to heckle.
Right?
That's good. And you know what? I found that it's a tiny thing for me, a little church group, and trying to figure out personalities. We were all kind of thrown together, and I was the beneficiary of a lot of great people. And we had to figure out, when Rob was talking to the vocalists and saying, hey, I'd like you to try this, not to take it personal, but, see it as a growing thing. And it took a little while, but then it came about where, hey, you know what? He's really not looking to criticize you. He's looking to make everything good, even though there may be differences of opinion when it comes down to it. So
keeping an eye on the game.
Collaboration, man. I'm all about it.
Hey, let's do this. Let's talk about the title track to your album. Tell me a little bit about that, and we'll jump into that and talk about that. Let our listeners hear the song "Sleeping Dogs."
Well, I'll start by saying it's a play on that old adage, "Let sleeping dogs lie, just let them lie," right? And similar to the self-discovery and selves discovery that we were experiencing in the last few years, not just us, of course, but everyone. Mm-hmm. It kind of dawned on us collectively that it's kind of the opposite needs to happen in order for us to survive. We need to kind of face things head on. And wake those sleeping dogs for a second. Just have them move over an inch. My foot's asleep. Gotta.
Because some sleeping dogs can be dead dogs.
Right, you never know. Yeah, if you don't move them.
He's just sleeping.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, there's maybe a follow-up song and more credit.
I was going to say, man, that's pretty good. I think you write that song.
I don't know. Montana's getting married. I know it's going to move from a trio to foursome. Yeah. I could see it happening. So if you need, I see in the future that musical groups are going to need a podcast hope to help influence their music. I just see it coming. That. And when electricity stops, those two things will happen at the same time.
We'll be back to AM radio.
I'm waiting for the day, man. I'm waiting for the day.
All right. Hey, everybody, check out Sleeping Dogs, and we'll be right back after this. Hey, everybody, we are back. We just heard the title track of Damn Tall Buildings' new album out September 9th called Sleeping Dogs. And let me tell you guys, it was really a lot of fun chatting with you. And it's one of those things. I really can't wait to meet you guys in person.
Likewise.
And see you play live when you come back to New York after your whirlwind tour here. And I wish you all the best in this.
Thank you.
And I look forward to meeting Sasha, I guess. I don't know if she'll see me.
She's going to seek you out after we told that story.
Yeah, she will, right? Yeah. Who's threatening me on Twitter? Oh, some Sasha lady. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for your time. I end my podcast a lot like this. A good friend told me, you know what? We can account for what we have in the bank and what we own. Never can account for what time we have left on this earth. The fact that you guys gave me more than an hour. We worked through some kinks with the technical part on my problem, my side. So it's been a real pleasure.
Likewise.
And thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Thank you.
All right. Be well, everybody. Peace. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate the time you spent with us. Please subscribe and comment and visit us at gigdestiny.com. Till next time, be generous with your joy, keep your spirits high, and let the music take you on a journey. Be well. Peace. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate, review, and comment on the show. We really love to hear from you. And call our listener line at 631-800-3579. Again, thanks so much. Be well.